The Buffalo Bills just got fantastic playoff-altering news. Bills Mafia, I'm so excited for this one. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. Let me ask you a question real quick. Why is it that every single time the Buffalo Bills have another opportunity to go make a playoff run, the confidence of the fan base disappears, or rather, it turns into a bunch of infighting? All I'm hearing right now is in so many places, in text messages from friends or whatever, it's the rush defense. It's comments also on the channel. It's the wide receivers. They're flawed. It's the Joe Bradys. It's the McDermotts. It's the Brandon Beans. It's the injuries. And it's a laundry list of things that the Buffalo Bills do have issues in. And we've just got to acknowledge that. It's part of the team. There's no team that's perfect. And actually, that's where this video is going today. So today, I want to talk about the other AFC contenders and their issues, their bad run defense, their penalties, their lack of turnovers, their injuries, whatever it might be. We're going to break those down because the Buffalo Bills just got some fantastic playoff news. It doesn't mean the Buffalo Bills are perfect, but it means the path is wider to the ship. And can I just remind you, even as of last week, the Buffalo Bills were the #1 bet AFC team to win the Super Bowl. Now, they were behind some NFC teams regardless, but it's important to note, Bills Mafia, that this team has a clear shot to make a playoff run, to push it down all the way to, the Super Bowl and make a run themselves. Stick with me because at the end of this video, I think you're going to walk away with a little bit more hope and a little bit more confidence. But if you're tired of panic takes and you want actual breakdowns of what's happening around the Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe to this channel, join our community. My name is Collin. This whole thing is called Crack the Table. It's all Bills, no breaks, breaking down Buffalo Bills content every single day. But also, I just want to remind you and maybe even thank you. The last couple days, guys, this thing's been going bananas. We've added about 500 subscribers to the channel. And honestly, I don't think it's me. I think it's you guys. You guys are smashing the like button, and these videos are getting sent to more and more Buffalo Bills fans. So do me a favor again, hit the like button, smash that like button. It really helps me out. It keeps this channel moving. But again, stick with me. By the end of this video, I hope to provide you with, of course, value when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. But specifically, I hope to give you a little bit more confidence that this team has what it takes to actually push through. And the way we're going to do that is actually look at some of the woes of the other teams. And we're going to start off with the presumed bye-winning Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are a very interesting team. They've got second-year quarterback Bo Nix, who's frankly slinging it. He's doing a pretty good job this season. But they've got some issues. The Broncos are ranked 27th as we see in this right here. They're ranked 27th in DVOA against passes to slot receivers. By the way, if we ever play the Broncos, just expect Khalil Shakir and hopefully Dalton Dalton Kincaid to actually do really well, but they are allowing 7.6 yards per attempt, which is going to absolutely be exploited in the playoffs. Not only that, they have a bunch of receivers. Check out here, they've got some injuries going on the team right now, but also on their offense, they have some key issues with a really high drop rate. They have, Bo Nix is doing all right this season. He's been really fun to watch as just a kind of a small market team is just really excelling. Nobody expected the Broncos to go get the first round bye this year, but they have, from the receiver core, one of the highest drop rates in the entire league. And not only that, they're unable to cause turnovers, and they have like the most penalty yards, or the second most penalty yards in the entire league right now. It's crazy. There's a lack of reliable weapons in that offense, just like there is in some senses in our wide receiver core. But not only that, as I've already mentioned, they have an inability to turn the ball over. You look at some of the turnovers; they're lower down here on in this. They're -5 right now in the turnover battle. But again, Bo Nix has just really struggled. His offense has really struggled overall. He's let down by a lot of their receivers. They have the 5th most yards lost because of dropped passes. Bo Nix is doing pretty good. He's having a good season, but their receiver core has real issues just like ours. But also that, I want to just acknowledge this. I've already mentioned this, but yeah, they really struggle against the slot receiver. And I look at our team, and I've already mentioned this, but I look at Khalil Shakir, and I look at if we go and play the Denver Broncos, this is a team that we absolutely could exploit because that's where our pass defense excels. That being said, when we look at the New England Patriots, we know that there's some drama going on with their team. I actually don't want to just continue to harp on the Christian Barmore and the Diggs stuff. Regardless, they're back at practice. I think they're moving around. But with that being said, When we look at this New England Patriots, some of the info that's coming out around this team is that Drake May struggles when his initial option is covered. In other words, he's struggling with a second, third, or fourth read. And so they're pretty good in the run game. They've had some line injuries. Will Campbell, we'll see if he's back later on in the season, but it's leading to absolute high levels of inefficiency for Drake May. So if we can cover his first target, which again, I'm looking at Maxwell Hairston and Trey White and Cole Bishop and some of these other guys, even the Christian Benfords, and saying, hey, can we cover his first read? Can we cover Hunter Henry? Can we cover some of these other receivers? If so, he is incredibly inefficient on the back end with some of those second and third reads. But not only that, I actually just kind of want to move on and just talk about the Jags here. We've already beat the Patriots to talk about them all the time. They're in our division. But the next team I want to talk about here is the Jaguars. They are a penalty happy team, 125 total penalties. And the biggest downfall, I think, of this team is that they are not ready for the big dance. They are not a team that is performing with a high level of discipline, with a high level of fundamentals. That is absolutely going to be killer down the stretch. Some of you guys are a little concerned about playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not only are they committing a ton of penalties because they're a young team, a newly coached team, but check this stat also out. They're declining in their run game efficiency. Earlier in the season, since week 10, they were at about 4.5 yards per carry, and now it's dropped almost a full yard to about 3.7 yards per carry. Again, limiting their offensive balance. And yeah, you could say, well, Trevor Lawrence is having a resurgence. Trevor Lawrence is doing well. I don't care. We have the number one pass defense in yards not allowed in the entire NFL. We can shut down a passing game of Trevor Lawrence. But even when we look at Trevor Etienne and we look at their run game and what they can and can't do, if their run game continues to dip, that is a great matchup for us. A penalty, undisciplined team that's struggling later on the season to run the ball and is led by Trevor Lawrence, who has just frankly not shown me that he has an ability to win big games when it really counts. Not only that, but they have also struggled with dropped passes. The next team I want to talk about, which is the team that you guys, Bills Mafia, are most excited to play if we go into the playoffs and play one of these teams. Specifically, again, this guy, right? Aaron Rodgers. He's just not that flashy of a quarterback. He was coming off an injury last time we played him, but Aaron Rodgers against DVOA on short passes is way below league average, and it reduces the reliability of the offense overall. Not only that, they have massive offensive inconsistency. They're actually like bottom 20 in the league in an explosive plays. And yeah, they had a good game maybe recently, but when you look at Aaron Rodgers and you look at him being in the twilight of his career, does he really have the ability to run and do a deep run in the playoffs? Again, you look at this, while the Steelers offense has shown promise, the age of the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, has limited offensive weapons. It hinders explosive plays. Again, currently ranks poorly in gaining 20 plus yards. They're a slow churning, grinding team, but they're not a team that scares me. And frankly, I don't think we need to talk about them anymore because I'm not scared. Not only that, but they are allowing so many yards in the pass game, which is just great for us. That being said, though, the team that you guys don't want to play, that we don't want to talk about, frankly, is the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans actually do have some struggles themselves. Again, I mentioned this, I believe it was in yesterday's episode or a couple days ago. This last week, they played a game and they actually had a couple injuries on their team. Again, some slight stuff, maybe not some season-ending stuff, but some things that are definitely going to be brought, some baggage that's definitely going to get brought back into the playoffs, i.e. the Kamari Lassiter injury. But also, just a couple things about them. 3 points. The first one, they have offensive line struggles themselves. They're ranking near the bottom of the in the league in pass protection. And if we have both Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau healthy, ready to go against this team, I believe in the same way that Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter get after Josh Allen, I believe that they can step up to the plate and absolutely expose this offensive line. We have a way better line than them. I think if we come to this rematch, we are going to have a good game against them. But that being said, they would have CJ Stroud back, assuming we know the last time we played against them, we played against Davis Mills, but we could get consistent pressure on the Houston Texans or on their quarterback. But not only only that, the offensive scoring for the Houston Texans isn't great. It's actually near the bottom of the NFL with CJ Stroud, which is actually very, very interesting. CJ Stroud had an amazing rookie season, but his second year and now this year, it's not really what you'd think it would be. You'd think with Nico Collins and some of these other receivers that they got, and the tight end Dalton Schultz, that they'd have a more explosive offense. It just hasn't turned into that. Their running back Woody Marks is like a late round guy. He's had an all right season, but he's really found his success against weaker teams. So the Texans offense ranks near the bottom of the league, even with Stroud back in the league, or even with Stroud back in the game after some injuries. But the one thing that I do think that we could really take advantage of against this team is their red zone inefficiency. They're not super strong on defense in the red zone. They are allowing, they're one of the best red zone, they're one of the best defenses in the entire NFL, but broadly, they are allowing a 45% touchdown conversion in the red zone when teams make it down there. That's exactly where the Buffalo Bills excel. We will see them score touchdowns if we do have to play them. Going on here, though, I just mentioned this stat. There it is on the screen. Not only that, the Baltimore Ravens, actually, we'll talk about the Chargers here in a moment. The Chargers have a couple key gashing issues. First and foremost, they have massive issues with linebackers in coverage. They are allowing almost an 80% catch rate with tight ends, which, again, you look at our team, we have the best group of tight ends in the NFL. Not only that, I do believe that Dalton Kincaid will be back, will be good to go, will be healthy for the playoff run. But when linebackers for the Chargers drop into coverage, the Chargers are getting gashed and dominated. Now, that is going to play into our hands. This is a team that I do believe the Buffalo Bills would have a great deal of success with. Not only do they struggle to cover tight ends, but also they've got some massive issues on their offensive line this year. We know that Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt early this season, or really even in the offseason, were put on IR. They're out for the season, and it's decimated and destroyed their offensive ability. And so Amarian Hampton, Kamani Vidal, while they're very good running backs on their own rights, they just do not have the line to carry them to consistent yards per carry, and we've seen that. Omarian's a very good running back. In future years, I might be concerned if you've got the Rashawn Slaters and the Joe Alts in the game, but for right now, the line is even failing to protect Justin Herbert, and for our sake, that's going to be really good. I'm going to see Deion Walker and even, again, Groot and Joey Bosa have a really good matchup against them, but they also have, just some glaring holes throughout their roster in light of some of these major injuries. But the last team I just want to briefly talk about here is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, again, the Baltimore Ravens or the Steelers, one of those teams is going to get in. We'll see as a result of the game on Sunday. But with that being said, they have had some red zone passing woes. Specifically, Lamar Jackson is only completing 55% of red zone passes. And so when they get to the red zone, when they get out of the 20 or out from between the 20s and into the red zone, he is just not completing that. He's just not as good as he was in previous years. He's not having this blow up season in 2 years ago when he had the MVP. He is struggling this year. And not only that, he's nursing a back injury, but even when you look at some of the other stats, some of the other information, that's not on there right now. But when you look at some of these other things, the pass defense has some major vulnerabilities. 245 yards a game given up, 29th in the NFL in pass yards. The secondary should have been one of their great strengths. They've put a lot of capital. They've paid some guys on the back end of that, but we know that Jair Alexander left them like halfway through the season, and there's a bunch of things like this. But this team is not really looking that good. It's not really looking that strong. Again, we'll see if they even make the playoffs. But lastly, I just want to acknowledge the defensive inconsistencies again on big plays. They are allowing about the most 20-yard plays to opposing offenses in the entire league. They're just weak in the defense. That being said, guys, I think the narrative around the Buffalo Bills right now is, yes, we need to fix the run defense. You know what? The run defense did really good against Saquon and the Eagles. Yes, the passing offense in the receivers needs to step up. I'm telling you guys, if we get Dalton Kincaid back, this offense is going to churn again. We are like 11-2 when Dalton Kincaid is in, and we lose a bunch of games when he's not. If we score over 20 points, the likelihood of us winning a game goes up a significant amount. Our offense is crazy to say. Our offense might be the limiting factor of this playoff run. We're pretty healthy on in the defensive linebacker core outside of Terrell Bernard. We're pretty healthy in the cornerback and safety room. There's a lot to be excited about this Buffalo Bills about this Buffalo Bills team as a whole right now. But hey, again, in all of it, I just wanted to bring you some updates. There's some amazing realities, some broken realities from these other teams. Stop just looking in the mirror and saying, man, the Buffalo Bills are terrible. They're not going to do anything. They have every opportunity in the world to go into the playoffs and to make a push. Now, there's some really good NFC teams that I think are more complete than even some of these AFC teams. The Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers, man, the NFC West is a very strong division. The Bears have looked good. The Packers in their own right in some games have looked very good. We know we just played the Eagles. That's just 6 teams right there that are very good. I'm thankful we only have to play one of them when we go to the Super Bowl, but I'm thankful that we can go in and win the dang thing. Let's do it this year. Bills Mafia, what do you think? Drop me down some thoughts in the comments. What matchups are you most excited about in the playoff run? What matchups are you most nervous about? But in all of it, again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for clicking on it. We're just a growing community. My name is Collin. My hope and my desire is to bring you value, joy, perspective on all things Buffalo Bills. Have a great day. God bless. Go Bills.